From heavyweight domination itself being at stake, to the sheer physical and mental capabilities shown by both fighters, here's why Tyson Fury versus Oleksandr Usyk will be a fight for the ages. After all, it's not every day that you see a fight where heavyweight domination itself is at stake. Both Fury and Usyk have reached the top of the game with their respective achievements. And what makes it all the more interesting? Neither of the two has lost in a professional ring before. In one corner, you've got Fury, who returned after taking down long-running champ Vladimir Klitschko all the way back in 2015. Sure, Tyson took some time off due to personal issues after that, but that doesn't mean he's rusty, because soon after, he made quick work of Deontay Wilder across 3 fights, from 2018 to 2021. After completing his trilogy, he defended twice, winning over both Dillian Whyte and Derek Chisora. It sounds like he's just about ready for another encounter, isn't he? Well, his opponent, Oleksandr Usyk, isn't a pushover either. Back in 2018, he completed his own 4-belt dominance. This was at the cruiserweight, and since then, he's managed to take down the likes of Chaz Witherspoon and Chisora. As for his score in the ring, well, he's 5-0 with 2 KOs at heavyweight. Oh, and just about 16 straight wins with 12 KOs before that. No biggie, right? And if that didn't already make it exciting enough, here's the kicker. The winner of this fight will be the division's first undisputed champion since Lennox Lewis. Yup, all the way back in 1999. So, to say that this is gonna be one historic fight is honestly putting it lightly. But with both fighters being so competitive, who's likely to come out on top? Well, for that, we're gonna have to dig deeper into each of their boxing styles and abilities.
Whoa.
Now, when it comes to Usyk, he's no small man. Standing at a respectable 6'3", you'd think that he'd just use his larger size to trailblaze his enemy. However, if you look at Oleksandr's fights against Anthony Joshua, you will notice that, despite being outmatched in height, the southpaw had a far superior boxing style. The guy knew how to exchange blows while avoiding replies like a pro. Not to mention Usyk's amazing footwork and hand speed, he really knows how to carry himself in the ring. Even before he's been given the real win, he's able to trap his opponents in mind games, winning over them mentally. But here's the thing, going up against Fury is no easy task because the difference in physicality is massive. Fury is nothing short of a giant at 6'9", giving him a colossal 85-inch reach. This means that if Fury plays it smart and is able to stay on the perimeter behind a jab, it'd be almost impossible for Usyk to get to him. Oleksandr might be so focused on trying to avoid the sheer danger that Fury presents that his usual footwork and mental games might end up falling short. It's possible that he could somehow find a way around this size difference, just like he did with Anthony Joshua. But it's a tough road ahead for Usyk, I'll say that much. No matter how I look at it, Fury's superior size and reach are definitely gonna come into play. And that's not all. Let's not forget that both of these boxers can pack a punch. Across their 54 professional victories, 38 of them have been knockouts. It goes to show that when push comes to shove, you can expect both of these fighters to knock the lights out of each other. But here's the thing, Usyk's fancy footwork has the potential to give him the edge in this case. No matter how strong an opponent's punch is, if it just doesn't catch Oleksandr, then there's no chance of him taking any damage from it. He was never in one place long enough to be hit by the guy's powerful volleys. So, even with Joshua's larger size and generally stronger punches, Oleksandr managed to come out ahead. As far as his own punching ability is concerned, it might feel a lot weaker compared to what Tyson is dishing out. But here's the thing. Considering Usyk's speed and precision, you just know that those punches are gonna land a lot more consistently. Usyk has shown that opponents who want to use brute force against the guy don't really come out ahead. Consider his fight with Dubois. The guy was totally unsure of what to do against the fast-moving Oleksandr. Usyk, on the other hand, had a complete plan for how he was navigating his way throughout that fight. Instead of going for that one massive KO to knock his opponent out, it was like he was doing chip damage across the entire thing. In the end, Oleksandr's KO very much felt like boxing's version of a death from 1,000 cuts. If Usyk employs a similar strategy against Tyson, he might have a good shot at winning. But let's not forget that Tyson's punch is one that not many folks can come back from. Thanks in no small part to his massive size and let's just say short temper. This guy has earned himself a reputation as a bully in the ring. He's shown that ultimately, even against the most agile foes, Fury's sheer dominance eventually causes them to crack under the pressure. Coupled with a well-timed punch, it's usually lights out for anyone unlucky enough to face Tyson in the ring. During his second fight with Wilder, Fury showed just how well he makes use of his larger size. The guy's unbridled brutality was on full display, leading to a pair of knockdowns even before the end came in round 7. It goes to show that the guy does not play around. He's all about thrashing his opponent and showing them their way to the ground. Either that, or Fury keeps dishing out so much damage that even the most persistent foes eventually give in. Because of this, I've got to give it to Fury once again when it comes to the two fighters' punching capabilities. Sure, Usyk has proven himself to be a more precise puncher, but will that really matter when a single punch from Fury is all that's needed to seal the deal? I don't think so. Fury has shown that his sheer aggression and size are enough to make even the most consistent of opponents falter in the ring, and that might just be what happens in his fight with Usyk. And that's his defensive capability. Let's just say the dude is gonna need a good defense if he hopes to last in the ring versus Fury. It's in his best interest to take things from a distance and avoid getting down and dirty with extended firefights. It's simply not an option for him, considering who he's up against. Luckily, Oleksandr's been smart about it ever since he moved to heavyweight. His fancy footwork has kept him ahead of the pack so far, and it'll come into play again against Fury. He's going to have to avoid fight-defining shots like his life depends on them, and if he does this for long enough, he might be able to get an advantage over Fury in the latter half. It's gonna come down to how well he responds to Tyson's big shots with stinging replies of his own. You know, that 1,000 cuts approach. It's going to be a little extra difficult this time since a single mistake could mean the match for Usyk, especially when you consider that Fury's not a pushover in this department either. His size alone acts as a sort of insulation against foes, leading to opponents needing to cut down on their own defense to keep up with him. But beyond that, he's shown himself to be like a zombie that keeps coming back from hits. Still, Usyk's defense is the one thing that he's got an edge in, so if he's going to win this fight, it's going to have to be because he made use of everything in his defensive arsenal to keep Fury at bay. But the physical sides of this fight aside, let's not forget about the interesting mental game that's going to be involved. Both of these fighters are known to trash talk until the sun comes up. Not to mention, with so much at stake, there's going to be a good amount of pressure on both of them. I could see one of them cracking with everything that's coming into play. Plus, there are some other factors to consider too. Fury has never really tasted any sort of real danger in any of his 5 title fight victories. It's tough to know if he's even going to take this fight seriously. He did mention that this is his most important heavyweight title fight so far, even acknowledging that both Usyk and him are champions. So he's keeping a good mindset about it. The last thing you'd want is for him to underestimate who he's going up against. As for Usyk, it's gonna come down to whether he's able to climb this massive mountain ahead of him and perform on the biggest stage. There's no denying he's the underdog going in, but we've seen plenty of times when it's the underdog who somehow manages to come out on top. So from the sheer physical and mental capabilities shown by both fighters, to the heavyweight domination itself being at stake, that was why Tyson Fury versus Oleksandr Usyk will be a fight for the ages.